Here we go. So we got to catch everybody up now. It's winter. So I shared, well, you were all here last week, so remember scene one was this opening, kind of this, into this dream that is unfolding. And it was a literal dream. So kind of this process of having, planting the seed of what's to come right in the first scene. So that's scene one, and then going into scene two was really at first scene two was I was trying to figure out where it really made sense because it seems kind of random because that was where, Trey Sean and Martha Maynard came in. But really now, like that scene just essentially it establishes here's just normal life. That's just kind of like, where I'm at right now, or where the character is at right now. And just, how I interact with, hello. So that was scene two. So now we're going into scene three, okay? So just with those first two in mind, kind of where we're at, scene three is a little bit of a different, like it's a little bit of a jump, but you'll see how it ties into everything, all right? Okay. So this is still episode one, The Awakening, and scene three is The Call. How do you find what you don't know you are looking for? There wasn't much I wouldn't do for what I loved, and there's nothing I love more than being in the gym. It was a frigid Saturday morning, still too early to bug my parents for a ride. So when faced with the choice of skipping what felt like was going to be a legendary Saturday morning workout or saddling up my red Haro BMX bike for the trek to Muscle Planet, the hard choice was easy. About halfway through my journey, I was on the main road passing a stretch of woodland that separated a patch of farmland and another plot of land that seemed very lifeless besides a winding maze of empty roads littered with a few newly built houses. It always amazed me how many more details I noticed on my bike versus riding in a car. It was as if for a few graspless moments, time and my growing lust to finally reach my destination became irrelevant. The experience drew me in as the stark silence of the crisp winter forest teased me with the secrets she willingly revealed to those who asked. And then suddenly an interesting looking bird I don't remember ever seeing swept across my view and perched atop a nearby tree. By the time I was able to get a closer look, it flew off into the forest. I passed the final tree of the woodland and noticed a chilling breeze as the momentary trance was lifted and I was brought back to the reality of my need to get to where I was going. I arrived at the gym and proceeded through the routine I had become so accustomed to. Interestingly enough, I wasn't feeling as strong as my ego would have liked me to be. Either way, I wanted another go at a 315-pound bench press. I knew that once I hit 3 plates, I'd be the strongest guy in school and my life would be complete. I barely hit 295 and my right shoulder was feeling tender. I shrugged it off and loaded up 315. After a minute of pacing and a couple face slaps, it was time to go. I unracked it and could feel the weight in my hands taunting me as my arms started shaking and the pressure built up in my head. I took a big breath and started lowering the weight down. Nope! I grunted and shook my head while grimacing in pain. Before I could even attempt to press the weight back up, I felt a sharp pop on the top of my right shoulder. The random guy asked to spot me, grabbed the bar, and helped me find my way back to the rack. You okay, bro? The random guy asked me half concernedly as he looked around the gym. I sat straight up and gently moved my arm around as I felt the now throbbing fireball of pain in my shoulder. Yeah, I'll be okay. I got up and walked around the gym, half hoping my shoulder would miraculously feel better so I could try again. After a few minutes, the pain seemed to level off. I decided I was going to be smart. So I used my good arm to take 2 plates off each side of the bar so the bar was at 135 pounds now. I got under the bar and attempted to unrack it. I was immediately met with a stabbing pinch in my right shoulder. Fuck! I quickly returned the rack to the bar, put my weights away, grabbed my bag, and left. I had imagined this workout going so much differently. My desire for that ecstatic feeling I got after a good workout was now transformed into a simmering disappointment that deepened with each throb I felt in my shoulder. I wanted nothing more than to crawl in a hole and disappear until the pain went away. The long bike ride home now felt like a punishment for getting my hopes up. About halfway through my journey, I was on the main road once again, passing that mysteriously inviting stretch of woodland between the two lifeless plots. For some reason, the pain in my shoulder seemed to subside just enough for me to experience that same beckoning as before. It was cold, but I couldn't help but to imagine what it would be like to get lost in those woods, never to be seen again. Just as I was in the midst of contemplating my own existence, my attention was thwarted by a quick movement of something up towards the treetops. It was the bird. This time I could see its rich red head sliding around the tree trunk. I could feel my bike slowing down. How come I never noticed how magnificent a bird could be? For some reason, its natural innocence stirred something within me that I couldn't quite put words to, like a memory I could no longer remember. I noticed an opening in what looked like a path that had once been traveled leading into the heart of the woods. Before I had the chance to talk myself out of it, I pulled off the side of the road and laid my bike down. I entered the forest. I know it seems crazy, but I wanted nothing more than to talk to that bird. It held secrets I never knew I was looking for until that moment. As I moved closer and deeper into the woods, the bird continued to match my pace and keep its distance, beckoning me further. My progress was halted by an acute rush of fear as I saw a figure much larger than a bird moving through the trees ahead of me. It was a person. He too had noticed the bird and was tracking its movements. The shared interest in the bird alleviated the flash of fear. Hello? I knew he could see me, but didn't take his eyes off the bird. I was only met with a gesture of his finger to his mouth as our paths began to merge. A few steps closer and the bird decided its job was done as it departed and flew off to wherever birds fly off to. Red-headed woodpecker. My silent question was answered by a kid that looked a little younger than me. Beautiful bird. We both stared at the spot the bird had been moments ago. Time seemed to pass differently in here. Nature holds many secrets indeed. Sing. Thank you. All right, so as you can see here, another like main character, well, I guess we don't know it at this point yet, but another character now enters. And really this scene as a whole and kind of a little bit of the teachings behind it, at least from my own interpretation, is, kind of this story of, we have these goals, and a lot of times it's not like right, wrong, good or bad, but a lot of times our goals and the things that we want or the things that we think we should be or the circumstances that we think our life should be like, it's just driven by our ego, just our ideas of how we think that things should be. And going with that, again, it's not like right, wrong, good or bad. That's kind of, that's the pursuit. And it's also just showcasing, that was very much my drive, or the character's drive at this stage of where he's at. I mean, he wanted to bench 315. Is like essentially his whole identity is wrapped up in being able to perform at a certain level and lift a certain amount of weights and be perceived by others in a certain way. And so that was the main drive. And so you can kind of see it's like, nothing really else mattered, to the point where essentially I put myself in a position where I hurt myself because I was just driven by that. And even though I was like, yeah, maybe that's not there today, it's like, fuck it, we're gonna do it because that's what I told myself I was going to do. And then now the pain teacher shows up. And that's kind of the part with the bird where, when I first passed, it was like, oh, that's cool, nice forest. I never really noticed it before, but it was still very much like, oh, I'm going to the gym. And then through that experience, and now the pain teacher shows up, now I'm like questioning things. And again, especially when my whole identity is built up on my ability to be able to lift a certain amount of weight, and now it's like, I can't. So now essentially, I don't even know who I am anymore. And so now I'm like having all these questions of like, okay, what the fuck? I'm depressed. I just want to go, crawl in a hole. Yeah, like literally. And that's, we kind of, many can probably relate to similar experiences. But then like going back, now, I'm sitting with this pain and then like just questioning, and then I see the bird again, and that's kind of like a subtle little call, because now there's something that's like beckoning me to enter, to go on a little journey here. And if it weren't for, if I had a great workout and things were great, I probably, even if I did see the bird, maybe I wouldn't have stopped. It's like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna go home and do what I normally do. But now that this like interruption, this ordeal, this challenge is presented, now there's an opportunity to maybe I choose something different today. I mean, things are already not going the way that I expected them to go, so maybe I can just take some other opportunities as well. And so then I see the bird, which beckons me into the forest. What's going on, brother? Have a good day, man. And then, so I decided to go in. And then obviously, the bird is beckoning me further. I'm kind of like following that. It's like a little bit of a guide, almost like a spirit guide, if you want to interpret it that way. But then now that leads me to, we don't know his name yet, but that leads me to this kid that is also in there. And obviously, there's some kind of, like, why is he in there? And, he just moved over. So we don't know a whole lot yet about the kid, but we do know there's this kid now, and he obviously knows, he's interested in nature. He's interested in that bird at least. And, he's the one that said, this is what the bird is, the red-headed woodpecker. And then we had a little bit of interaction there. So now again, there's this call, either the pain teacher shows up, I choose something different than maybe I wouldn't have normally chosen, which then leads me to this new opportunity. And we don't know yet. I mean, this will get in, well, I know because I wrote scene 4, but this will continue next week. Yeah.
Can I tell you what I thought was going to happen?
What'd you got?
I thought you were going to follow the bird, and the bird was going to turn into some like mythical, like bad thing is going to attack you.
Oh, jeez.
And I was really scared for you.
Well, that could be premonition for later.
Did you notice that you said that you're gonna, like, instead of re-rack the bar?
Yeah,
Oh, did I say unrack?
I noticed that. You put
Rack back on
the rack on the bar.
Oh, nice. Well, shit. Okay. Well, we caught it.
No, that you get caught it after.
No, I guess not. So main lesson, just
Follow the bird.
follow the bird.
Scared me so much. I seriously thought something bad was going to happen in the forest. I started getting
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good. We got a little suspension. It's not yet. We're getting close.
I was in a huge fight with my friend over a
Thank you.
woodpecker with a red head. My friend and I were in the forest and encountered a woodpecker with a red head, and we did a huge fight.
And actually,